Hey, business building warrior, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. Today, I have a guest I'll be bringing on in just a moment. And we're not talking about Amazon selling. We're talking about selling to third-party book buying services that we're going to tell you all about today. It's a different episode, but this is specifically designed for people who are looking for some extra money to help them ramp their business up. We talk to a lot of students in our community, for example, who say, I've only got a little bit of funds to get my business rolling. I need something that's kind of stable. I'm willing to do the work. I need a simple model that works. Now, the model we're going to show you today isn't necessarily scalable to the level of some of the success stories you've heard on this show. If you've listened to several podcast episodes over the past, say, several months, you'll hear students talking about how they've built like 6-figure per month businesses on Amazon, for example, and it's virtually hands-free and they've got a team doing it all. That's beautiful, but it's also intimidating for the newer students. So today's episode is about how to find books that you can flip, not on Amazon, but to third-party buyers. And you know, before you even send them the books, exactly how much those books are worth to them, and they'll buy them in bulk from you. Delia, the guest that I'm going to bring on in just a moment, she's a leader in our team. She's had her mom doing this business for quite some time, very successfully. We finally documented the process that they use, how they find the books, how they know what they're going to be worth, who do they sell them to, what are these services and tools that you need to do it. We put it all into a very simple, straightforward course. You can find that course. There's a link in the show notes, or go to provenamazoncourse.com/safebookprofits. That's provenamazoncourse.com/safebookprofits. All three words crammed together. We've got a great discount, by the way, on that course. It's like 75% off approximately for the Proven Amazon course students in our community. There's a link right there to your discount code. You got to log into the Proven Amazon course learning portal, get your code, all that. But the course is ridiculously inexpensive anyway, as is all the courses and training that we have around here. But here's the overview, just to make sure you understand what we're talking about today. There are books everywhere. It's one of the easiest products to get your hands on. You see yard sales, you see people donating, giving them away. If you get on Craigslist or even maybe the Facebook neighborhood group that you're in and say, hey, I need books. Does anyone have books? I'll donate the ones I don't need, but I'm starting a business. We're going to be selling some books online. Does anybody have books they want to clear out of their attic? You'll find books everywhere. There's so many different ways to get your hands on books, very inexpensively or free. And then it's just a matter of going through and finding the ones that meet the qualifications to sell, not on Amazon necessarily, where they may sell for slightly more money, but you've got to wait. If you sell a book on Amazon, you got to wait for one buying customer to be interested in that book. And that's when it sells. That's why we've moved our new students away from selling books on Amazon, because it's such a slow rolling business model on Amazon alone. But we've got a network of buyers that we're going to show you in this content, in this training, the provenamazoncourse.com/safebookprofits training teaches you how to get into this network of buyers who will pay you cash. And Delia even reads off today the past 2 weeks, the payments that she's gotten from these different buyers, these different book buyers. Now, full transparency, you're going to have to scan some books. It's not like every book that you find is going to be worth money. Some of them are worthless. Some of them you'll have to donate or find something else to do with. But a lot of them will be worth money. We talk about which kinds tend to be worth more money. And here's something really cool Delia points out on the show today as we get into the conversation. If you've tried to sell books on Amazon, you may have noticed there's some books that are restricted. Like you're not allowed to sell that book on Amazon. It's a restricted category. Maybe the publisher has put a restriction and said, we're the only ones that can sell these titles. That's cool. You can't sell it on Amazon. Well, you can sell it to this network of buyers. They will buy it there. And a lot of times it's a great clue. If Amazon won't let you sell it on Amazon, it's probably worth a significant amount of money to this network. So let's get over and spend some time hanging out with Delia. The other thing you'll hear us talk about towards the end of the show today is our upcoming Proven Conference. Let me just give a shout out to the conference once before we get rolling. Theprovenconference.com. That's 3 words, theprovenconference.com. Get over there, get the details. July 6th through 8th, 2023. We're going to be gathering in Columbus, Ohio. Come join us. Hundreds of listeners to this podcast. tons of successful coaching students, our coaching team. We're all going to be there sharing great ideas, over 40 great breakout sessions where you can get into conversations with leaders and successful students from our community, hang out with them. Something really cool we're doing this year for the first time ever. If you get a VIP ticket to the event, along with all the other benefits, I'm not going to list them here. You can see them on the website. But one of the cool things we're doing for VIP ticket holders is we're going to assign you to a mastermind group before the event begins. And that group that you're assigned to will be meeting not only at the event under our supervision, helping you organize it, but you'll launch it. That'll be the starting point for that group to continue meeting on a regular basis, hanging out with your fellow business building warriors, because you hear us talk about all the time. It's even a theme that I hit on today with Delia. You'll hear it in our conversation that the people who succeed in e-commerce, the people who succeed with the stuff that we teach around here, are the people who form relationships. They build friendships, not just so they have fun hanging out together. That's great. That's beautiful. Do that. We encourage that. But it puts more money in your pocket because it brings ideas floating to the top, things that you can do together, the synergy of that creativity. The people who make it big in our community are the people who are building great relationships with a lot of others. You'll hear that as a theme. But let's jump in and learn about this book model. I'm really excited to spend some time with Delia today. Again, a great leader. She'll be at the conference. She'll be talking about all of this, along with another great concept that has nothing to do with this that she talks about. It's a really cool way. It's a low risk way to get into private label selling, and it's working extremely well on some tests that we've been doing for quite a while, because we test everything before we bring it to you around here. You're going to love that concept as well. Something else to be excited that's coming down the pike in 2023. So you're really smart to be a listener to Silent Sales Machine Radio. Let's jump over and get Delia on the line right now. So Delia, thanks for stopping by the podcast today. Good to see you.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you, my friend. And I know your mom's up to something interesting, and you've got something to teach us today about selling books. Let's dive into that.
Yeah, it's simple, and I call it a safe method to flip books that we stumbled upon. My mom, I started selling books in college, and that's how I got introduced to Amazon. And then I passed down that business to my mom, and she did way better than I did with it because she was consistent and persistent. So she has been making six figures in revenue selling used books on Amazon, which most people who sell on Amazon think it's crazy. Like, how do you make six figures in revenue selling on Amazon? But it's possible if you are consistent and you take action every time. And then randomly, I discovered this website where you can scan barcodes and find vendors who are willing to pay you even more than Amazon pays you, or less, but they pay you right away. So you scan the book, and then you get a list of these vendors that are willing to pay you money. These are vendors that are reselling the books, and based on the popularity of the books, the amount of books they know that they can sell at one point or another based on the algorithm they use, they're willing to pay a specific amount, and then they pay you via PayPal within 2 weeks of you shipping the books out. So we found this way of flipping books randomly, really. Someone talked about it, and we realized, oh, we have all these books that we could just get paid for in the next 2 weeks rather than wait. Because with selling on Amazon, everyone who sells on Amazon knows that sometimes, right, you ship books to Amazon and you have to wait 3 months or 6 months or a year to get the amount you want. Well, with these books, often we can just get whatever we get quoted within a couple of weeks. So it's a pretty safe method to flip books. And then the ROI is pretty great. Because when you're in the used bookstore or in a Goodwill store, you see the price on the book. So if the price is $2 and these websites are paying you, at least one of them is paying you $5, you know what your ROI is. You don't have to pay for shipping. You just have to put the books in a box and ship them to Amazon. So that's your cost, really, the box.
Not to Amazon, but to the buyer.
Sorry, yes, right. To the vendor. Yes. Yeah. So there's a shipping label you put on the box to ship the books to the vendor. Yes. Now, they only requirement is that you hit a certain number, like $8 or $10 or $15 for the various vendors. So if a book is $5, you need to have more than one book to reach $10 or $15 based on what the vendor is asking. But they give you the label, you put it on a box or on an envelope. If you have two books, you're just going to put it in a bubble envelope and put the label and ship it to them. It's very simple method. The first time we did this, we made about 3,800 or 3,400 in 2 months. Again, this was on the side. It wasn't the main thing. But it was because we knew we were going to get the money right away. We said, well, let's just take the quick payout. Then for a few months, what my mom did is she would scan these books and take them to my sister, and she would send them herself under her account. She created her own account and she got paid. So she was helping, right, my sister by not giving her money, but giving her a product that she can get paid for right away. So it's kind of cool, a cool way to help people. And that's the method. Really, it's pretty simple. You scan, you get a quote, and you ship it and you get paid.
It sounds a lot, Delia, just as you were describing it. You and I have talked about this before, but as you were describing it, I'm thinking, we have a used bookstore here in town. I think it's at like a half price books or something like that, where you can take your big old pile of books in, plop them on the shelf or on the desk in front of them, and they'll just, say, hey, go do some shopping and come back in half an hour. And they'll make you an offer on everything that you carried in that day. Similar to what we're talking about here. But you can know instantly by scanning the barcodes what each of the books you have on hand are worth to a good handful of vendors that'll pay you right now. So I love the contrast you gave. The selling on Amazon means you're going to send it into their warehouse. It could end up sitting there for 6 months or a year even. And then you have to decide, do I want to pay storage fees and have it returned to you maybe? Now, you may make a lot more money eventually on that title with Amazon. They're going to pay you less. I'm guessing they're paying you kind of a discounted rate, but you can get money fast and you can know very quickly exactly what the book's worth, not what it sold for recently on Amazon. And you hope it sells again on Amazon at that same price. But this is, hey, we'll make you an offer right now today, cash in hand. If you send us that book in the mail, it's a super straightforward business model. So then all that's left to do is find creative sources of great books and scan the barcodes. Maybe it's your own bookshelf, but neighbors. I know of the people in our community. And again, the whole premise of this segment is if you just need some cash to keep things rolling, maybe to get your business started, whatever, this is a hustle mode type opportunity. But I know people in our community that will just run ads locally. Maybe you just post it on Facebook even, or one of your neighborhood groups and say, hey, I need books. I sell books. If you want to donate books, want to get rid of books, want me to help come clean out your attic full of books, just let me know. Books are everywhere. And you can get your hands on them super cheap a lot of times. And then just a matter of just going through and saying, okay, what will they pay me for these titles? And then putting them in boxes, right? It's a pretty simple, pretty straightforward, like we can teach you everything you need to know in about half an hour with this model, right? So I love it. So excuse me, did I accurately describe who this is for? Because at scale, how big could this business get theoretically? If like this is all you did, which we don't encourage, but how big could this get?
So I mentioned that I sold books before, and I used to go on Craigslist at 10 years ago, find people who moved out and then buy boxes of books for $20 or $30. My best load was 2 carfuls, like an SUV filled up with books in every nook and cranny of the car. Paid about $100 for that, and it generated thousands of dollars for me. So this model, right, instead of shipping the books to Amazon, you could find these opportunities on Facebook, on Craigslist, where people are willing to get rid of dozens of books for very little. And you can make a lot of money in a short period of time, but it's very time consuming. So that's, you have to scan a lot of books. I don't want people to think that they're going to go out, scan 10 books and 9 are going to sell. You have to scan tons of books to get a box to resell. So that's one thing, time consuming. That's why it might not be the most scalable. But there was a point where I bought a truckload of books. There are vendors or suppliers of, I don't know where they get their books, but you can buy a truckload. I bought a truckload, gaylords and gaylords of books books, and we scanned all of them, donated a lot, actually had to throw out a lot because we didn't want to keep paying storage for it. It was a model I wanted to test and see how it works. I never tried that one with this flipping method, right? That's pretty safe. But
those books were all going on Amazon.
Yes.
That was before you discovered this network of buyers.
Correct. So that's one. There are ways you can buy Gaylords of books. Some people find them on Etsy. Etsy booksellers are retiring and they just want to get rid of Gaylords of books. So there are opportunities all around us, and we can find a lot of books that can generate a lot more, but it's not as consistent as the replan model. That's why this is a great idea to get some quick cash. And maybe even get some money to build your business, whatever it's needed. You can do a decent amount of money. If I look at the last payment for the last shipment we sent in, $50 for one vendor, $194.95 for another vendor, $232.27 another vendor, $48. This was in the last 2 weeks. $48, $93.
These are payments hitting your
PayPal
account as you're selling these loads of books. And you've got, do you pay the shipping or do they?
They pay the shipping.
Wow.
So this profit. Well, it's not profit because you pay for the books.
Sure. You got to pay for the books, but that's pretty cheap typically if you're doing this business right. You know you're making money before you invest in the book. You're not hoping it sells someday.
Correct. It's for sure you're made at least 50% of this is profit, probably more. 50% is really on the low end because you usually buy these books for $1, $2. You sell them for $5, $10, $15.
What are the lowest offers that you see on books? Are they making like 75-cent offers on books, or is it?
There are books on which they make offers for 75 cents or $2. We usually try to only ship books if we're getting at least $2 or more per unit. Okay. Because you have to put them in the box. Like, I don't want to have to deal with all those extra books for 50 cents. $2 if it's a light book, I'm like, that's okay. But I'm not going to do the work of having to put in a book and make sure they all fit if all I'm making it is 50 cents. I like to see $5 and up, but we've sent a few items where it ended up being $2, $3, and you just throw it in there with the rest of the stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. But these are numbers, right? Payments we have received in the PayPal account, because you have the option of getting a check and PayPal. PayPal is quicker, so we prefer that. And as soon as the items are scanned, these vendors pay us. We haven't had any issues not getting paid. You have the option of shipping the items back to you. Now, people who are selling books, this is very important. I guess I forgot to mention, if you're selling books on Amazon, you already know that some publishers are restricted for most sellers. So those are ideal books to resell to these vendors. There was a book that was selling for about $150 on Amazon, and we couldn't ship it in because we were restricted for that specific textbook. So we still got $50 or $75. I don't remember the number. It was a lot less, but it's $50 in my pocket, for a book that I would not have been able to do anything with. So it's a good additional or an add-on method for people who are already selling books, because you're going to come across some of these restricted books and you can just ship it to these vendors and usually those books are pretty profitable. We're talking tens of dollars, not just a couple bucks here and there.
Yeah, sure. There's plenty of opportunity there. And I love it. It's a lot of work. It's not something that can be, you're going to have somebody doing the work. I mean, I know I've handled large loads of books before. Like, I'm just imagining you unloading your SUV. Sometimes books smell funny, and like your car smelled funny for a few days after that. And you got to have somewhere to store them. And it's not as smooth of a system as some of the other models that we teach around here, but it is money and it's significant funds. And thanks for sharing the payments you've been getting recently. Your mom does this, and it's a nice source of income for her. Yeah, I love it. It's very different than the Amazon model for sure, where you wait and hope that something sells and you're surprised each day. With this, there's no surprises. You're just having to scan a lot of books. I love it. Well, hey, you're coming to the conference in July as we're recording this, still a few months out, but tickets are on sale now. The Proven Conference. Talk to me a little bit about some of the stuff you're going to be doing with us. You're on the leadership team around here. You're going to be presenting some content. This concept will be one of the sessions that you'll be doing, right? For people who want to come and kind of hear more about this. What else are we going to be talking about?
Yeah, this is one of the sessions, and it's focused on short-term cash, right? And then my main focus is building assets or brands or products that bring in cash for long-term. So I try to always divide my time into short-term cash opportunities or income that I know I can make in the short term, and then long-term. And sometimes I build towards the long-term income stream. It might take 3 months or 6 months. And that's what we've been doing with print on demand. I love the taking a concept and trying to see how can I leverage this in more than one way? How can I use this in more than one way? Let's take print on demand. I'm looking right that we're working on actually 7 brands right now. 3 I have a majority ownership in 3 of the brands. And then all of the other ones are with partners or clients. So I had a concept. I figured, you know what? I'm hiring some people, some VAs, a team to handle my work. But they have some extra time. What can I do with that extra time? How can I leverage? If I'm paying them a salary, I want to leverage what they're doing. Well, let me see if other people want to partner with us, and they can build their own brand at the same time. Not only do I get to leverage the time of my team, I'm already paying for it, but I also get equity or a percentage in the client's brand. And then the goal is to sell at least one of the brands within 12 months for a 6 or 7 figure exit. So I'm taking one skill and applying it or looking at how can I leverage it and build different income streams. So we've built, in this case, up to 7 income streams. Well, it's actually more because we're doing a lot of other stuff, and we're going to talk at the conference about the experiments we're running and how they're going. And I just mentioned a few of the things we're doing, but we're actually working on several other income streams, all based off of the print on demand skill set.
Yeah. Which is very exciting. In layman's terms, from my vantage point, correct me if I'm wrong, Delia, but print on demand is the low-hanging fruit way to test private label concepts on Amazon, because you can have just a few items printed with a custom saying or quote or some cute image that you own on a product that someone might buy. And if it takes off, hey, okay, let's go buy more. But print on demand allows you to buy just a few, test a concept, build out a good listing, maybe do some pay-per-click ads, and very low risk, you're wading into the waters of private label, which we're super excited to be doing around here. And you've been testing this for a while now with some members of our community, some of our coaching students, and it's going well. So we're ready to start scaling it out. So at the Proven Conference, that's kind of when we're going to be, I think the stars will align where we'll start really talking more about this subject. I'm excited to have you kind of helping lead the charge on that sort of content. So yeah, excited to see all the projects that you're into right now. But what else is on your mind? Anything else before we wrap this one up? It was good hanging out with you today.
I guess I'll add one thing. I've been thinking about this idea of overnight success for the last few days. It's we look at people and we look at what they accomplish. It feels like there's this overnight success story here and there, right? Oh, they did this one thing and it led to millions of dollars, and it's an overnight success. But we forget all the years of hard work and experience that they had to go through to get
failures.
to that. Usually a lot of failure, right? So I would leave the listeners with this idea. If you just focus on the things you can control, right? How much time you're putting into building a business and how much energy, you don't worry about all the other facts that you can control. There will come a point where it might look like you're an overnight success because you're building, and all of a sudden something really pays off, and then you achieve the success you want. Opportunities are all around us, and I know if I'm stressed and I'm tired, I don't see them. But when I expect to see them, I start to see them, and then I'm at a point where when I talk to people, I tell them about the income streams we're building. It sounds like I'm doing these really amazing special things. They're not really. took small steps every day. I've learned one thing here, another thing there, had a lot of failures, lost a lot of money too. And so now I'm a lot more careful how I spend my money, what I spend my time on. But if you just take action, motion breeds clarity. You'll get more clarity about what to do, and you'll discover the things that will allow you to achieve success. So I want to encourage people, just take action. I know it's easy when we listen to people talking about what they're doing to feel like it's impossible for us at times because we're further away. If it feels like they're doing special things, amazing things, not really. We don't have to have any special IQs. We don't have to have any special skills to do the things we do. Just take action, and that will breed clarity, and you'll know how to achieve the goals you want to achieve.
Yeah, I love that point you're making. Action leads to clarity. And I think a lot of times we wait for motivation before we do something, or we wait till we've learned all we need to know. How long is it going to take me to learn all the stuff I need to know? And we get distracted along the way. We're just in learning/distraction mode for months. That's not taking action. Taking action isn't listening to a podcast. It's not watching us talk on the screen today. That's not taking action. Taking action is doing something, making a commitment, taking a risk, trying something new, putting some of your money at risk, going into something, calling somebody. I think the only thing I would add to what you just said, Delia, that I know you'd agree with is it's relationship. Like all these little streams of income, those are all relationships. There's a name, there's a few names, there's people. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but they're all relationship oriented. And that's what I love about this community is you have enough conversations with enough creative people from this community, income streams will result. The people I see struggling are the people who are locked down. Maybe they're doing it with their spouse, but that's about it. And they're not adding constantly to the new ideas. They're not taking action on testing new things. They're not building relationships with the people in this community. So great encouragement. Yeah, I can see where people are going to be looking forward to coming to your sessions in July. That's July 6th through 8th at theprovenconference.com. Go get all the details. We're going to be in Columbus, Ohio. It's going to be a fantastic event. Delia is going to be featured along with a bunch of other speakers at 40 different sessions for you to come and enjoy. And you get all the videos. You're not going to be able to see it all while you're there. You get all the videos as an attendee as well. But thanks, Delia. Always good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I'll talk to you soon.
At the conference.
Jake, see you there. Hey, one last thing. You thought I was letting you go. I forgot to mention the website for that book course because I'm sure you want it at this point. You need to go to provenamazoncourse.com, provenamazoncourse.com/SafeBookProfits. 3 words, Safe Book Profits. Remember, you get about 75% off that course if you're a Proven Amazon course student, but it's inexpensive to begin with. You'll love it. We can't wait to get these ideas into your hands. Let us know how it goes. And also, if you're wondering where the conference is, you're going to hear me say it a lot between now and this summer, theprovenconference.com. Come join us July 6th through 8th in Columbus, Ohio. All the details are on that website. Get your ticket. VIP tickets will sell out. They do every year. So if you're interested in VIP, you want to grab that fast. But we'll see you in July. We'll have another great episode for you very soon. Talk to you then.